Hello and good afternoon. For most of us, winter means something very differently than it did to our ancient ancestors. The sun disappeared earlier, the night stretched longer, and the world grew quieter and darker. Sound familiar? What happened? People gathered around firelight to share warmth, food, memories, myths, folklore, not just to pass the time, but to make sense of the dark. And tonight is a small echo of that tradition. This stream is part of a marathon train. So if you're hopping in from somewhere else, hello and toot toot. If you're sticking around all night, just know you are not alone. We're passing the fire from channel to channel, keeping each other company as we go. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me here. On this stop, I'll be reading a few ancient stories that I've enjoyed hearing, myths that explore fear, transformation, excess, which, hey, who doesn't love excess? Loss and renewal. And then later in the stream, I will be joined by a lovely friend of mine, a special guest, who's going to read a story for us as well. Another voice added to the fire and another story shared. Yay! Maybe we can imagine some of these stories were being told thousands of years ago when the nights grew long. Doesn't that sound fun? And just a friendly reminder, a lot of the stories that I will be telling tonight will have a common theme that you'll notice, maybe. So every time I mention the word wine, as long as I can remember, I'm going to take a drink of wine. Yes, in memory of our ancient ancestors. So please get comfortable. Let your imagination do some work for you tonight, and feel free to share any stories, any thoughts, any parallels or meanings that you may see that my little tiny mind may not, and give us a shout out. It's good to see everybody here. Maya, love you. Great to see you. Purple Rhymes with Orange. I would like to say thank you to Purple Rhymes with Orange. They've put all of us together, and I think it's a really great initiative to help people who might feel alone, have nothing to do, or maybe just don't want to participate in the holidays, whatever. I mean, whatever floats your boat. I'm just glad that you're here. And I am so excited to share some of my favorite stories with you. You may have heard me tell them before because I kind of ramble on about them quite often. And the first story that I want to share with you tonight is about El's Divine Feast. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Just give me un momentito to get my thing up here. Okay, so, right. So this is about a drinking party. It's a mythic incantation, and it comes from ancient Ugaritic, which is a port on the Mediterranean coast, now in modern-day Syria. The text was discovered back in the 1930s on clay tablets written in Ugaritic, and they date to around 1400 BCE, but the stories probably are much older. There's probably oral traditions rooted in Canaan. The myth centers on El, and you all may be familiar with El because he shows up in the Bible. He's also the high god of the Canaanite pantheon. And this is going to draw on a ritualized drinking feast known as the Marzehu, a practice that is later condemned by the Yahwist traditions because of its excess. Yes, they literally mentioned the name of this banquet, of this feast called the Marzehu, and outlaw it. In the context of this feast, we notice there's authority, vulnerability on the high god. I mean, who would ever see a high god falter or be unstable? There's consequences of indulgence. And then we see restoration. So if we can see the restoration of a high god, that kind of makes us wonder as humans, can we too be restored? Now, give me a second. I'm going to move my windows. I really can't see the comments like I want to, you guys. I'm so sorry. How's everybody doing? Are you guys having a good day? Are you having a nice day? Hello, Resist Depression. Good to see you. My unfinished story. I greeted purple rhymes with arm. My lovely queen goddess of the no goddess, queen of the goddesses. Hello, yes, that's it, queen of the goddesses. Would you like to drop a? This is just going to be me. I just have one friend joining me today, but I appreciate the offer. Tawweed. I hope you enjoy your stay here on this train, my friend. That's okay. You don't have to have wine. You don't have to participate. You can just watch me be a lush. Is that acceptable? Are you all okay with me drinking by myself? Because I will drink by myself. I don't care. Hello, Hell's Bells. Lovely to see you. Hello, good to see you. Long time no see. I miss you. Ember, your inspiration. You and Lil, I love the stream. I wasn't able to talk, but I was listening. And, I was kind of thinking about how I feel a little bit like I'm a fuddy-duddy when it comes to Christmas and the holidays. I've been a little poo-poo because of the whole, like, Jesus thing. But it's made me feel good to hear you speak of how, to be fair, these traditions are more ours than they are Christians. So they're the ones who should feel some type of way, not us. So I'm going to sink myself into that a little bit and try to get myself into the spirit. And I think this is a good stop. This is a good first stop. Don't you agree? So let's get on with the text. It's a healing incantation. Okay. So it's an actual ritual that would be performed. You would have certain ingredients, as you do, and this would help to restore the person. It was an incantation for a hangover, or what do they call it? Something of the dog, hair of the dog. So this is an ancient hair of the dog formulaic incantation. It's a myth based on a festival. Did you get all that? I'm sure you did. Here we go. Let's read. First, let me take a sip. And yes, I know. So cool. It's a magic spell, an ancient magic spell. 3,000 years old. All right. El slaughters game in his house, butchers beasts in his palace, bids gods to cut the beef. The gods eat and drink wine till sated. Oh, vintage till inebriated, and vintage is like the first fruit of the wine, so technically that's wine, so technically I should drink on that one as well. Yarik grills the haunch like a, unfortunately, some of these texts are broken, so there might be parts that are not decipherable. Yarik is the moon god of ancient Canaan. Jericho is named after Yarik. It is city of the moon. Yarik grills the haunch like a who knows what, grabs the hind quarter beneath the table. So now we're getting imagery of this moon god almost behaving like a dog underneath the table. As for the god whom he knows, he grills fare for him to feast. As for the god he does not know, he strikes with sticks beneath the table. Wap, bap, bap. He nears Athtart and Anat. And Athtart and Anat are sister gods of the Canaanite pantheon. Anat we know as the herd fertility god, also as Baal's wife and sister. Athtart would be a combination of likely the powerful gods Athtart, and Ishtar. It's like a combination, Ishtar and Inanna / probably kind of like an Anat. Yeah, so she's like an amalgamation. Anyway, on we go. Athtart grills a steak for him, Anat roasts a rack of ribs. The porter of El's house chides them not to grill a steak for a dog, not to roast a rib for a cur. He chides El, his father, too. So there's this porter. I don't know, you could consider him maybe a god. Not sure if it's just supposed to be a person don't know. Maybe we're not meant to know. But this person is like doing a little to Elle, saying, you're not supposed to cook that for a dog. You're not supposed to behave like this. But Elle sits wherever he sits in his bacchanal. Okay, so we're really getting this Marseille feast imagery. Elle drinks wine till sated, vintage till inebriated. Elle staggers to his house, stumbles into his court. The Kumuna and Shanuma carry him. Habayu then berates him, he of two horns and a tail. Likely these are two lesser gods. I'm not really sure much about them. Neither. Habayu, probably another lesser god. But this god has two horns and a tail. And he's kind of shaming Elle for his behavior. So Elle slips in his dung and urine. Elle collapses like one dead. Elle like those who descend to the earth. So, I mean, we're talking about falling down drunk to the point that Elle poops his pants. Like, this is a shitstorm. What's the fecal matter here, guys? What's the matter? It's a fecal matter. So Elle poops himself because he's so fall down drunk. And he descends. You know, you get this idea of him descending into the underworld because that's how drunk he is. Athtart and Anat march off to the hunt. So now Athtart and Anat are going to go out and they're going to find the ingredients they need in order to cure Elle of his hangover. Athtart and Anat. And with them they brought back, as when one heals to return to youth. On his brow, one should put hairs of a dog, and they mean like, yoink, hairs of a dog. The top of a specific plant and its stem, whatever that might be, and mix it with the juice of virgin oil, probably olive oil. Oh yeah, actually, right here, this word right here, ZT, that might be zaytun, and I think zaytun is olive. So it's probably olive oil. And I don't know if they were supposed to drink this or just literally put it on the forehead. Not sure, but I think that's really cool to picture Elle behave. Hold on, where's that comment at? Elle, there we go. Elle Poops sounds like a cutesy name for a cat. Hello, the atheist carpenter. Welcome. Good to see you. Oh, you guys also too. I'm sorry. Please make sure you hit the like on the way in. I always forget to do that stuff. Like, I'm so bad with reminding people greetings, introductions. It's just not my thing. Oh, hey. And look who it is. Tellteller Media. They will be joining me later. That's going to be my friend who's going to read us a story sometime after 2. So in another hour-ish, they will be joining us. Jay, where you been? Long time no see. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. All right, so we're reading stories, bruh. We're reading stories. I'm having drinks every time they say the word wine, because wine was like, if you were there this morning when we were discussing about water, and that water, probably you were taking a chance if you were drinking it. There's probably some kind of bacteria or contamination in the water. So people would ferment fruits, use that water. It would kill off the bacteria or harmful contaminant, whatever. And then they were able to consume water. It was just by means of beautiful, beautiful blood of trees. That's what they call it in Ugaritic. Blood of trees. And we're sticking with that. I mean, long nights, long nights. No Facebook, no TikTok, no YouTubes, no combing through the internet, no 1,000 channels, just you, and if you're lucky, maybe some wine and something to eat, right? So sit around the fire, tell stories, get drunk. Sounds like a plan to me. What is our next story, friends? What story are we going to? Oh, let's go to now. We're going to talk about Dionysus. Dionysus. Which button? That button. Oh, that's fine. I'm only covering it a little bit. Maybe I can fix it. Hold on. Oop, 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 oop. Can you all see that? I don't know if that's big enough, and I don't know that I can make it any. That's as large as they'll let me make it. So, the Dionysus story. Let me give you a little intro. Dionysus is a god from ancient Greek myth associated with fertility, wine, ecstasy, transformation, and the breakdown of social boundaries. And some of these stories have that element to them, the breakdown of social boundaries. Like we saw a high god who's supposed to be infallible, and homie was so drunk he did a number two. And other gods, lower gods, were telling the high god, you needs to chill, broski. Where in the world would you see that happen? Like, you're not going to see that in biblical tradition because it's so freaking boring. Anyway, the story I'm reading comes from the Homeric Hymns, a collection of early Greek poems written down somewhere around 700, 600 BCE. Though the hymn itself reflects much older oral traditions, Dionysus is a god of transformation that moves freely between worlds, civilization and wilderness, sanity and madness, life and death. You know, we got these two extremes, the binary. He's often depicted as boisterous and generous, but the myths warn that refusing him or misunderstanding him can have devastating consequences. Another story about losing control? Let's find out. All right, friends. I love Dionysus. Do y'all love Dionysus? I've only been getting into him the past couple years, but it's just like a whole nother category of God and myths and ideas. And it's so fun that there's different people who tell stories about him. We don't just get like a one-sided point of view. I will tell of Dionysus, the son of glorious Semele, how he appeared on a jutting headland by the shore of the fruitless sea, seeming like a stripling in the first flush of manhood. His rich dark hair was waving about him, and on his strong shoulders he wore a purple robe. Ooh, purple is a royal color, honey. Costs a lot of money to get that purple from them Phoenicians. Presently, there came swiftly over the sparkling sea Tyrsenian pirates on a well-decked ship. A miserable doom led them on. When they saw him, they made signs to one another and sprang out quickly, and seizing him straightway, put him on board their ship exultingly, for they thought him the son of heaven-nurtured kings. They sought to bind him with rude bonds, but the bonds would not hold him, and the withes fell far away from his hands and feet, and he sat with a smile in his dark eyes. Then the helmsman understood all and cried out at once to his fellows and said, Madmen, what god is this whom you have taken and bind him strong that he is? Not even the well-built ship can carry him. Surely this is either Zeus or Apollo who has the silver bow, or Poseidon, for he looks not like mortal men, but like the gods who dwell on Olympus. Come then, let us set him free upon the dark shore at once. Do not lay hands on him, lest he grow angry and stir up a dangerous winds and heavy squalls. So he said, but the master chid him with taunting words. Madman, mark the wind, help hoist the sail on the ship. Catch all the sheets. As for this fellow, we men will see to him. I reckon he is bound for Egypt, or for Cyprus, or to the Hyperboreans, or further still. But in the end, he will speak out and tell us his friends and all his wealth and his brothers, now that Providence has thrown him in our way. When he had said this, he had mast and sail hoisted on the ship, and the wind filled the sail, and the crew hauled taut the sheets on either side. But soon strange things were seen among them. First of all, fragrant wine. Whew. Not gonna lie to y'all. It's not my favorite, It's not my favorite. Wine, that is. Oh, it's Spooky. You didn't know I had a channel? Spoopy. Spoopy. Why are you so spoopy? I'm sorry. Whoopsie, live stream. Okay. What was I saying? Hello? Oh, first of all, sweet, fragrant wine ran streaming throughout all the black ship, and a heavenly smell arose, so that all the seamen were seized with amazement when they saw it. Which leads me, y'all know how like a scent will put you in a mood or remind you of somebody or just even make you hungry? There's some scents that still take me back to when I was 8 years old. There's 2 different floral scents that will take me back to a time when I was a child. It's really cool. I enjoy that experience. Anyway, that just reminded me of it. Do y'all have anything like that? I'd love to know. And all at once, a vine spread out both ways along the top of the sail, with many clusters hanging down from it, and a dark ivy plant twined about the mast, blossoming with flowers and with rich berries growing on it. And all the thole pins were covered in garlands. When the pirates saw all this, then at last they bade the helmsman to put the ship to land. But the god changed into a dreadful lion there on the ship, in the bows, and roared loudly. Amidships also he showed his wonders and created a shaggy bear which stood up ravening, while on the forepeak was the lion glaring fiercely with scowling brows. And so the sailors fled into the stern and crowded bemused about the right-minded helmsman, until suddenly the lion sprang upon the master and seized him. And when the sailors saw it, they leapt out overboard and all into the bright sea, escaping from miserable fate, and were changed into dolphins. But on the helmsman Dionysus had mercy and held him back and made him altogether happy, saying to him, "Take courage. You have found favor with my heart. I am loud crying Dionysus, whom Cadmus' daughter Semele bare of union with Zeus. Hail, child of fair-faced Semele. He who forgets you can in no wise order sweet song." That was such a fun read. Have you guys heard that story before? I hadn't read that till yesterday. I think I've heard it discussed in some videos that I watch in regards to ancient Greco-Roman pantheons, etc. But I hadn't read it for myself, and I thought that was interesting. That I'm not showing you. Hold on. Doot doot. Put it back up there. Doot doot. Right here, and all at once a vine spread out both ways along the top of the sail, with many clusters hanging down from it, and a dark ivy plant twined about the mast, blossoming with flowers and with rich berries growing on it. I'm assuming that no, I doubt that I'll end up with alcohol. Well, I hope I don't end up with alcohol poisoning. We'll find out. No, I doubt it. I've only got 1 bottle. The question is, will I get through the 1 bottle? That's the better question. But, okay, so Homie gets mad. So Dionysus gets mad, it seems. And part of his powers is the ability to make this plant just pop out of nowhere, right? There's no way in hell this vine just happened to be on the ship and decided to grow. This is of his doing. So he's so into the viticulture, the wine, that one of his powers is growing vines. That's pretty cool. And the vine, we'll see the viticulture and the vine agricultural theme in some of the other stories. As I told you, like the wine theme is in a lot of them, the drinking. Did you guys notice anything about that story you thought was unique or interesting, or any moral? Probably not any moral, because I don't think this was a moral tale whatsoever. But Banyu, is she really drinking for 2 hours? Ryan, turn your heater up. What, you want me to pass out? Atheists approved Matthew 19. Are you encouraging me to pass out, get alcohol poisoning. I know you would not. No, I don't know what you're doing. Just joking. I know a bear looking like right? Like a bear and a lion. Is there a reason? Are they just dreadful monsters to humans? Beasts? Is that why? Scary, frightening? Or is there bigger meaning to that? Because some gods do have like their kindred animal. Bull in the Swana region, the Southwest Asia, North Africa area. Bull, El, Bull, Yahweh, Bull, Baal. Probably is Deviant Outcast here, because if Deviant Outcast is here, they can tell us which Egyptian gods also had the element of the bull. And interesting fun fact, in Canaan, in some of the Ugaritic stories, the elites, I can't think of another word, but it's anyway, the elites were sometimes referred to like those who were empowered somehow, even if they were just like some kind of minor warlord, would be given animals, like an animal symbol representative, like bears and bulls and stuff, which is cool. So like the clans, just like today we have a flag, they'd have an animal. And I know other cultures did the same or did similar. What next, folks? I think we're going to, I think now we're going to go back. Yes, we're going back to ancient Canaan, back to Ugarit. This is called the Lovely Gods, also known as Shahar and Shalim, the Lovely Gods. Let me share this tab and let me make it bigger. Hopefully that's good enough. Oh, and I can get rid of that too. Boop. Go away. There we go. That's perfect. And Shahar and Shalim are twin gods of dusk and of dawn from ancient Ugarit. Both are born from the hearth and home goddess Ashira, also known as Athirat in the Ugaritic texts, and the high god El. So they are twins of Asherah and El. And in this world, the gods have bodies, like physical bodies. And in this text, they get physical, if you know what I mean, if you're getting my euphemism. This Bronze Age tale also, El is not distant or withdrawn here. He has vitality. He fathers the twins as part of an ongoing renewal of the world. And Shahar and Shalim mark the daily threshold where light is born and where it fades, tying divine fertility to the rhythm of day and night, to the rhythm of nature. The text was based on seasonal ritual, especially agricultural fertility and the first fruits. Let's just have a little sip of the year. Like wine, as I told you, wine is also called. Don't you dare leave, Theo. If you leave, I'm going to be mad at you. I'm going to be very, very angry with you. Just kidding. When people needed reassurance that the cycle would continue, and probably performed or chanted as part of a cultic setting in hopes that the sun would come back in full force. So we get to see El out on the prowl, and we get to hear about his penis. And who doesn't want to hear about El's penis? Come on. Seriously. All we get is this boring stuff about Yahweh. Yahweh this, Yahweh that. Yahweh ain't shit. The only reason Yahweh is shit today is because he assimilated this cool guy. Okay? People are like, oh, El, he was old. And he was just kind of chilling. And he didn't do anything anymore. And he was just out of his sorts because he's, God of time, Father God. No. He was active and he was getting it in. All right. Again, the tablets, some of them are broken, so there may be parts of this that are missing. Actually, there's lots of parts of this that are missing, unfortunately. I know it's really sad. Breaks my heart. I really wish that we had all of it. Hey, who knows? Maybe one day there'll be more that is discovered. You're going to notice a lot of repetition in a lot of these texts because that's just how they went. All right. Let me invite the lovely gods, indeed the beautiful ones, sons of those given offerings on high, in the desert, on the summits, to their head, and eat of every food, and drink of every vintage wine. Peace, O king. Peace, O queen. O enterers and guards. Death, the ruler, sits. In his hand a staff of bereavement, in his hand a staff of widowhood. The pruner prunes him like a vine. The binder binds him like a vine. He is felled to the terrace like a vine. This is death, or as we know him as Mot in the Bible. He is sat with a staff in his hand, and around him are vines, and in hopes to keep death at bay, they prune the vines. They're pruning these vines around him. So this is, again, some kind of agricultural or viticultural kind of cultic, I don't know, I guess some kind of ritual of sorts. Probably practice, I would say, late summer or fall, somewhere in there, somewhere around harvest time. Okay. 7 times it is recited over the dais, and the enterers respond. And the field is of the field of El, the field of Asherah and Rameh. Okay, so I know I feel really bad because I'm going to keep interrupting because I have things to tell you. So first, Asherah and Rameh. A lot of these gods have a double name where many of the Canaanite gods have a double name, like Kothar Wa Hassis, or Kothar and Hassis. The Wa is an and, which means skillful and ambidextrous. So this could be Asherah, and Rameh means, what is the word Rameh? Oh no, why is it slipping from me? Not graceful. It'll come to me. But anyway, there's a possibility that this is just about Asherah, one goddess, or this is 2 separate goddesses, Asherah and Rameh would be a title for Anat. So this could be about Asherah specifically, or about Asherah and Anat together. Okay. Gracious? No, it's not gracious. Damn, it's going to come to me. Oh, you little silly son of a bitch. On the fire 7 times, the boys with a good voice, coriander and milk, mint and curd, and on the basin 7 times, incense. Rameh goes hunting. She is girded with lovely might, and the names of the enterers. The divine homes are 8, 7 times. So there's this repetition scene that we see happening. Lapis lazuli, red, crimson are the singers. So you would have minstrel. There would be a minstrel where this was actually being sung, so it's being performed. Let me invite the lovely gods, ravenous pair, a day-old boys who nurse the nipples of Asherah's breasts. Sun braids their branches and grapes. Peace, O enterers and guards, who process with lovely sacrifice. So they likely have some kind of, what's it called on your head when you weave the vines, or, whatever, wreath, but it's for your head. You know what I'm talking about? crown, some kind of crown. So they would weave them and place them on their head. They did that for I think Dionysus. That was a traditional practice as well. Oh, there was something else I wanted to tell you. Do. What was it gonna say? What was it gonna say? Yeah. Don't forget what you were gonna say. Nipples. It wasn't about nipples, but nipples is coming out to me, but it's not nipples. It isn't nipples, so we're just going to keep on moving. And we're not going to talk about the nipples for now. But you can see that it's an important process that the gods who are born, all of them, are nursed by Asherah. Okay, the field is that of El, the field of Asherah and Rameh. So again, stuff is missing, but what we believe is happening here is that El is traversing to somewhere, and you'll see something to the seashore. And he marched to the shore of the deep. El, the two servers at the top of the pot. So there's two people here. El marches to, and they're going to be two women that he's going to have a conversation with, and he is going to proposition. I hope you guys are able to read this. I hope it's not too small. See her, she is low. See her, she is high. See her, she declares, Father, Father. And see her, she declares, Mother, Mother. El's hand lengthens like the sea. El's hand like the flood. El's hand lengthens like the sea. El's hand like the flood. So when they say El's hand, just so you know, they are talking about that big old divine cock. That is a divine cock. That's not a dick. That is a cock. So they're talking about the holy cock of God. Okay? And it gets big. And it gets lengthened. It's so big that it's like the flood, y'all. I mean, we know what the flood, we know that story. We know how the waters came. Those waters washed over the earth. What do you think this flood cock is going to do? Woo. All right. So these two women, El has traversed to, and he's now going to proposition them and find out what they want. Why did they call him there? El takes the two servers, the servers at the top of the pot. He takes and he sets them in his house. And also, let me tell you that I don't like this translation. I don't think this is the best translation, but in a rush, this is the one I picked. Sorry. As for El, his staff drooped. As for El, his love shaft sank. He lifted it. He shot it heavenward. He shot a bird in the heavens. He plucked it, set it on the coals. El enticed the two women. So El has a staff, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And he sees a bird in the sky. And he's like, okay, well, these are two women. These two women have called me here. They want something. What they want, I'm not sure. But this is how I find out. Because what is important? Someone who can hunt and someone who can give you a baby. Hey, so he shows his hunting prowess by lifting up that staff of his, shooting the bird, pulling it down, plucking it, and then cooking it. El enticed the two women. Now, if the two women declare, oh, husband, your staff droops, your love staff sinks. Oh my God, you know what? Honestly, I'm getting really pissed off at this. I don't even know that I can do this. I don't know that I can do this. Hold on, give me a second. Y'all are, I don't like this translation. It's really pissing me off. I'm going to search. Share this tab instead. Give me a second. I need to find gracious. Where's the gracious gods? Here we go. We're going to read this one instead. I apologize. but the translation is really bugging the F out of me. And I think it's a bit confusing. And I'm not saying that this one is much better, but give me a second. We're going to find it. We're going to find it. El strides the seashore. He marches to the shore of the deep. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. Remember when I said I was like forgetting what the hell I was talking about, and I was looking at nipples and I was talking about nipples? Well, nipples isn't what I wanted to talk about. The shore of the deep. I keep bringing this up. The T home. The THM. This is cognate with Tiamat. Remember Tiamat from the creation? Is it the Babylonian? Enuma Elish, and the world is created from Tiamat and Apsu. So there's this imagery of the deep in many of these Ugaritic tales. Okay, El takes a pair of brands, a twin brands from atop the fire stand. One bezla. Hold on, we're gonna get there. Okay, El lowers his scepter. He is generous with the staff in his hand. He lifts, he shoots skyward, he shoots a bird in the sky, he plucks it and sets it on the coals. El charms the pair of maids. See, this is just so much better. El charms the pair of maids. If the maiden pair cries out, "Oh, husband, husband, lowered is your scepter, generous the staff in your hand. Look, a bird roasted on the fire, basted and browned on the coals. Then they would be his wives, wives of El, his wives forever. But if the maiden pair cries out, "Oh, father, father, lowered is your scepter, generous the staff in your hand. Look, a bird is roasted on the fire, basted and browned on the coals. Then they would be his daughters, daughters of El, his daughters forever." Where, please, somebody tell me what world have you ever heard of a story of a high god asking two women, two goddesses, what they want, what they prefer? Because El says to them, if you want me to be your husband, and I want you to cry out to me, husband, husband. If you want me to be your father, then cry out to me, father, father. And what happens? Either choice they make, El is going to take care of them. He don't know why he was called, right? He just comes. He's called, he comes. He sees two women. He's like, well, it's going to be one of two things. And he gives them the choice. And either way, they get fucking fed. They're either going to get that D or they're going to get that B. And that B is the bird. Okay. Lo, the maiden pairs cry out, "Oh, husband, husband, lowered is your scepter, generous the staff in your hand. Look, a bird roasted on the fire, basted and brown on the coals." The pair became his wives, wives of El, his wives forever. Oh, you guys, it gets me in the feels. Yes, atheists approve. Yes, atheists approve. These stories are so much different than the stories that we get about Yahweh and that we get about El in the Bible. Are they not? Are they not? Okay. He bows down to kiss their lips. Ah, their lips are sweet, sweet as succulent fruit. In kissing conception, in embracing pregnant heat, the two travail and give birth to the gods, dawn and dusk. Okay, so it's not going to be smut. Unfortunately, we're not going to hear about something getting wet and something getting put in and pulled out and heavy breathing. We're not going to get a romance novel from ancient Ugarit. But what we get is a lot of euphemisms. And some of these euphemisms are also found in the Bible. The kissing and the conception, embracing. This reminds me of the stories they tell us as kids. Like if you kiss a boy, you're going to get cooties or you're going to get pregnant. In kissing conception and embracing pregnant heat. My goodness, if it's that easy to get pregnant, maybe it's just that easy for for God, to get people pregnant. It's just like that for him. John Fabiano, you have turned into ancient Ugaritic porn. Welcome. No, I'm just kidding. So some people think that this is a hero scamos or a divine pairing, a wedding, divine wedding, which it could be. This could also be a is it cosmogony? A beginning of this pantheon of sorts. El, the high god, with his wife Ashura, beginning the process of creating the pantheon, or even maybe the heavens and earth, because you'll come to find out more about Shahar Shalim. All right, let's keep reading. Hello, shut your mouth. Keep reading. Okay, the announcement celebrating the divine birth. Word is brought to El. Paired wives of El have given birth. What did they bear? A pair is born, dawn and dusk. Raise an offering to the Lady Sun, thanks to the immovable stars. And when they say Lady Sun here, this is a goddess. Her name is Shepash, and you can see her name right here, SPS, and that's a Shepash. Lady Sun, thanks to the immovable stars. He bows down to kiss their lips. Ah, their lips are sweet, sweet as succulent fruit, in kissing conception and embracing pregnant heat. They recite again 5 more times. The assembly sings, both travail and give birth, birth to the gracious gods. And again, the reason why it seems a little confusing is because we're told it's Athra or Ashra Wa Rame. So is this just one god, but in some kind of hypostasis? Or is it 2 separate gods? I know it seems like we should just know, but we just don't. Both travail and give birth, both to the gracious gods. Paired devourers of the day that bore them, who sucked the teats of the lady's breasts. Word is brought to El, paired wives of El, given birth. What did they bear? The gracious gods, the paired devourers of the day that bore them, who suck the teats of the lady's breasts. So, of course, they're talking about Ashura's breasts. Oh, I should have showed you imagery of Ashura, but there is Judean pillar figurines. You can Google that term, Judean pillar figurines, and you'll see Ashura cupping her breasts, just straight up cupping her breasts, because that's what she did. She nursed, she took care of the home, she took care of family. That was like her shtick. Oh, you can add it to the Thank you, Ninjester. Appreciate you being here. Glad to see you. Make sure y'all hit the like, please. I appreciate you. And if I'm going too fast on anything, if you have any questions, I might be able to answer. I may not. I'm just learning this stuff as well. So thank you again, Ninjester, for the support. Appreciate it. Okay. Shut up and keep reading. Paired wives of El have given birth. What did they bear? The gracious gods, paired devourers of the day that bore them, who sucked the teats of the lady's breasts. Now we're going to get a little bit of a description, but the cupping of the breast. Now we're going to get a description of Shahar and Shalim, dusk and dawn. And friendly reminder, in Isaiah 14, Shahar is mentioned by name, Hallel ben Shahar, or son of the shining one. And Isaiah is speaking about this god and the hubris of him falling from grace. Anywho, one lip to the earth, the other to the sky. Then enter their mouths, birds of the sky, fish from the sea. rushing to eat bite by bite, gorging their mouths left and right, but even so, not sated. So, John Fappiato. John Fappiato. Little floppy. You floppy little man. So, now we imagine that Shahar and Shalim are born dusk and dawn, and they're so hungry. They're fanatically hungry and insatiable that they open their mouths, and their top lip goes to the stars, to the heavens, and their bottom lip all the way down to the earth. And they're just like sucking it all in. They're ravenous. These gods are ravenous. So El commands the gods to search for food in the wilderness, and eventually they happen upon the guardian of the sown land who gives them sustenance. So, in a sort of hardening test, these gods are just born, and now to see if they're worth their weight in God, if they're strong enough, they should be able to go out into the wilderness. Kind of reminds you of like what Jesus did he not? He went out into the wilderness and he had to pass a test, a hardening test of sorts. Could he turn down what was offered to him by Satan? We'll never know. So these gods are instructed by El to go out into the wilderness and see if they can survive. And survive they did, baby. O wives whom I wed, O sons whom I sire, raise an offering in the holy desert. There sojourn mid rock and brush. 7 years complete, 8 cycles full. The gracious gods roam the steppe. They hunt the desert fringe. They approach the guardian of the sown. They cry out to the guardian of the sown. Oh, guardian, guardian, open them legs. Just kidding. Open. He opens a breach for them. They enter and say, if there is bread, then give that we may eat. If there is wine, I feel like I've missed some wine. This is real. Just hold on. Hold on. That was a good joke. Hold on. I got to show that. So Jonathan says, what is a Canaanite god's favorite car? El Camino. I'm getting that one song. Low rider. Oh, now it's going to be stuck in my head. God damn it. Okay. The guardian of the sown answers. There is bread for him who comes. There is wine for him who enters. He approaches his flask of wine. His companion is full of wine. So, sadly, again, a lot of this text is broken, so we don't know for certain what exactly is happening. But from what I've read, the scholarly approach is that when these gods reach the sown land, when they get out to the steppe, they come across the guardian, and the guardian is actually El. So El is the one who provides sustenance. And there is a I don't remember the scripture, but there's also a scripture where similarly I don't know that it's a story of where a specific patriarch or something goes out into the wilderness, but about how God says those in the wilderness, he will provide for them. So this is a common theme in the Swana region of having to prove yourself. And if you prove yourself worthy, that's the word. If you prove yourself worthy, the God, Elohim, the high God, will take care of you. So that's allegedly what happens here. So yeah, back to quickly about Shahar and Shalim, dusk and dawn, and Shahar showing up in Isaiah 14. If you remember, that's the one where Isaiah condemns the Babylonian king, saying that he's just self-centered, he's haughty, and that in his self-righteousness, he's going to stumble. And Shahar, so there's a few epics where Shahar shows up. And another one is the Baal cycle. We're not reading the Baal cycle today. I mean, we might be able to read a snippet if you guys want to. I don't know if we'll have time or not. But in the Baal cycle, when Baal is disposed for a short period of time, El says to Ashira, or to Atharat in Ugaritic, he says to her, Baal is disposed of. Like, what are we going to do? We need to have somebody to take his throne. So Ashira says, we need somebody smart. We need somebody wise. But El says, okay, somebody smart and wise isn't going to fit into Baal's throne because he's big. He big boy. So what happens is Shahar, in this cycle, it's a tar, but again, they have a lot of names. So just hush, just listen, shut your face. So Shahar gets on top of Baal's throne, and basically he's like, I don't fit here. I can't rule here. What am I going to? My feet don't even touch the goddamn step stool. I can't rule from this throne. So he has to climb down from Baal's throne. So that portion, that little tiny snippet of the Baal cycle, it's kind of like a little tip of the hat in Isaiah 14 about this God who thought they could rule, but when they got into the throne, when they got into that seat, they didn't cut the mustard. It's so cool, you guys. Nobody knows this shit but me. No, not but me, everybody. There's a lot of people do. What is the next story? Well, yeah. Haughty with, excuse me, Mr. Shane Billowitz. Where have you been? I feel like I never see you. You know who I saw, Shane, who I talked to? Well, I say talked to in a comment. I commented back to Biddy Buddha. And she said she would happily do a live with me. So hopefully at some point we'll get together and we'll be able to do. It's been like 4 years since we've done a live stream or something like that, or 3 years. Okay, next story. Isn't that what I was doing? I was finding the next story. Pardon me. Here we go. This next tale, this one is going to hail from around the Norse region. This is going to be about the god. Oh, let me scroll it up a little bit more. About the god Baldr. And I do apologize if I say any of these gods' names. Like if I pronounce it wrong, if I get the pantheon wrong. You have to understand, as a former Jehovah's Witness, I misconstrue stuff. I get terms wrong. I get turned around. This is new. This is all new. This is all really new for me. But I'm doing my best to open my mind and understand things from a different perspective. So if you notice anything, please just pop it into the comments. You know, words of wisdom, insight that maybe I'm not seeing, a common theme across like society or something. Holler at me, please. Oh, I'm just looking at the comments. Oh, a true king will be under the true creatress queen. A woman, true that, let it be received. Hello, from your lips to the goddess's ears. Boop, 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 boop. And many of you all know that I'm an atheist or atheist of sorts or whatever, but I am also agnostic. I'm not opposed. I just don't, believe. But I think that it's important that we have an accurate depiction of history. And the goddesses were there, and to pretend like they didn't exist and they didn't um, contribute to society or to women's lives or even to men's lives, familial lives, politics, etc., is a lie. It's wrong. It's stupid. You're dumb. Eat a dick. All right, let's get started. This this is Baldr. He's a god from Norse mythology associated with light, beauty, and goodness, and he is described as the most beloved of the gods. His story comes from medieval Iceland, preserved in the Prose Edda, written down in the early 13th century, though the myth itself is much older and rooted in pre-Christian Norse tradition. And it just occurred to me, my friends, that I probably should have put these links so you all can follow. How about this? I'm going to create shorts from this, and when I do, I will have the links in the description. So if you want to go read these books for yourself, you can, because they're free on this website, Internet Archive. Yes. Let's keep reading. The story centers on prophetic dreams that foretell Baldr's death and the desperate attempts of the gods to prevent it. The story isn't meant to teach right or wrong, but for us to reflect on how the Norse imagine the world shaped by fate rather than fairness. Because sometimes, no matter what you do, your fate is inevitable. Okay, here we go. Then spake Gangleri. Have any more matters of note befallen among the Aesir? A very great, and y'all, if I'm saying this wrong, can you do me a favor and just like do the phonetic, like type out the phonetic for me? If you know, because I don't know how. Aesir. That's how I would say it. Aesir. Deviant outcasts. I have asked Deviant Outcast if they will get with me so we can do some comparisons of Ugaritic pantheon and Egyptian pantheon. And for some reason, just like Ben, these people pretend that they like me and they want to conversate with me, but they never get with me. And I mean, do I smell? I just really don't know what's happening. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. A very great deed of valor did Thor achieve on that journey. Har made an answer. Now shall be told of those tidings which seemed of more consequence to the Aesir. The beginning of the story is this, that Baldr, the good, dreamed great and perilous dreams touching his life. When he told these dreams to the Aesir, then they took counsel together. And this was their decision, to ask safety for Baldr from all kinds of dangers. And Frigg took oaths to this purport, that fire and water should spare Baldr. Likewise, iron, metal, and all kinds, stones, earth, trees, sicknesses, beasts, birds, venom, serpents. And when that was done and made known, then it was a diversion of Baldr's and the Aesir that he should stand up in the thing, and all the others should some shoot at him, some hew at him, some beat him with stones, but whatsoever was done to him hurt him not at all. And that seemed to them all very worshipful thing. Okay, who? Dr. Ben, I'm drinking, so I can't talk. The best place to message me probably is Discord. That is the one place that I check regularly, semi-regularly, because I talk with the Java and Jugs girls on a daily. Because that's my bitches. Sorry. Okay, hello. Where was I reading? I forget. And when that was done and made known, then it was diversion of Baldr's and the Aesir that he should stand up in the thing, and that all the others should some shoot at him, some home. Oh, yeah. Okay. But when Loki, the fire son, saw this, pleased him ill that Baldr took no hurt. He went to Fensalir to Frigg and made himself into the likeness of a woman. Then Frigg asked him if that a woman knew what the Aesir did at the thing. She said that all were shooting at Baldr, and moreover, that he took no hurt. Then Frigg, neither weapons nor trees may hurt Baldr. I have taken oaths of them all. Then the woman asked, have all the things taken oaths to spare Baldr? Oh, Frigg, come on, Frigg, this is your kid. Frigg, this is your kid. There should be little prickly hairs standing up on the back of your neck telling you that something is wrong. Detroit atheists, love Detroit is queen. What's my queen? What's my queen? Beck, excuse me, where have you been? Hello. Hello. And Math Pig, hello. Sorry, guys. I'm already getting a little drunk. Hello. She said that all were shooting at Baldr, and moreover that he took no hurt. Then Frigg, neither weapons nor trees may hurt Baldr. I have taken oaths of them all. And she did this with her hair. After she did that, she went like this. She was just like, I took oaths of them all. Then the woman asked, have all things taken oath to spare Baldr? And Frigg answered. She leaned in. Frigg leaned in. There grows a tree sprout alone, westward of Valhalla. It is called mistletoe. I thought it too young to ask the oath of. Sorry, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. There grows a tree sprout alone, westward of Valhalla. It is called mistletoe. I thought it too young to ask the oath of. You know, she's just like the hot goss. Meh, no biggie. Then straightway the woman turned away. But Loki took mistletoe and pulled it up and went to the thing. I don't know what this thing is. Oh, the thing was the Legislative Assembly of Iceland. Less specifically, a formal assembly held for judicial purposes or to settle questions of moment as an assembly of men. Okay. So this is an assembly where they decided on things. Okay, so basically Loki takes the mistletoe and he pulled it up, and then he went to this place where the people congregate and have discussions and make decisions. Hold door. Oh no. It's just hold the door. Hold the door. Hold the door, guys. Does anybody get that? Does anybody get the inside joke, or am I the only person getting the inside joke? Hodor stood outside the ring of men because he was blind. Then spake Loki to him. Oh, I see. Okay, right-handed says, wait a minute, let me click it. A goddess Google said, Aesir is pronounced Acer. Acer. If you like phonetic breadcrumbs, Acer in English-friendly IPA, the opening is that old Nordic ligature, once a signal rune-flavored vowel. Oi, sir. Oi, sir. Thank you, right-handed says, oi, sir. I think I should drink more. I think that this is natural, normal. Okay, you guys, we have to get through this because my friend is going to join me in a couple minutes. So you all need to stop and chill. You have to really chill because I need to get focused. And this is really your fault. You're making me distracted. I'm just kidding. Dr. Kip, I love you. Do you love me? I love you. Okay. Hodor stood outside the ring of men because he was blind. Hold the door. Then spake Loki to him. Why dost thou not shoot at Baldr? He answered, because I see not where Baldr is, and for this also that I am weaponless. Then said Loki, do thou also, after the manner of other men, show Baldr honor as the other men do? I will direct thee where he stands. Shoot at him with this wand. I'm going to help you, Baldr. I'm Loki. I'm cool. And I want to help you. Hodor took the mistletoe and shot it at Baldr, being guided by Loki. The shaft flew through Baldr, and he fell dead to the earth. And that was the greatest mischance that has ever befallen among gods and men. Oh my God, can you imagine this? This poor kid. He's blind. He doesn't realize that Loki is up to no good, absolute trash, and that he could throw something at Baldr that would kill him. And who would think a sprig, a little sprig of mistletoe went through him? Okay? It says the shaft flew through Baldr. So we're not just talking about like that's what right through. Okay. Now that you got the image of mistletoe like sticking out this dude's body. Then when Baldr was fallen, words failed at all that aye, sir. Aye, sir. Words failed at get yourself together. Words failed at the lay, sir, and their hands likewise to lay hold of him. Each looked at the other, and all were of one mind as to him who had wrought the work. But none might take the vengeance, so great a sanctuary was in that place. So everybody was afraid. They knew what Loki had did, but they didn't do shit about it. But when the Aesir tried to speak, then it befell first that weeping broke out, so that none might speak to others with words concerning his grief. So the first thing that happens after Baldr is fallen is everybody just breaks out weeping. They're crying. Like Homie was the beloved. He was the beloved of the gods. So it's kind of like, your dad. You just don't, well, if you have a good relationship with your dad, you don't imagine your dad passing away. So it was like a shock to them that they were able to throw whatever they wanted at this dude, probably swords of metal, and it just fell off him like nothing. And then this little tiny sprig, boop, with berries on it, just kills him. But Odin bore that misfortune by so much the worst, as he had most perception of how great harm and loss for the Aesir were in the death of Baldr. Now when the gods had come to themselves, Frigg spake and asked who there might be among the Aesir who would fain have for his own all her love and favor. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I don't know that I understood that sentence. I have to read it over. Hold on. Now, when the gods had come to themselves, okay, so when they got their wits about them, Frigg spake and asked who there might be among the Aesir who would fain have for his own all her love and faith. Who would? Okay, we're going to pretend like I understand exactly what that. I'm not stupid. Let him ride the road to hell and seek if he may find Baldr, and offer hell a ransom if she will let Baldr come home to Asgard. And he is named Hermodr the Bold, Odin's son, who undertook that embassy. Then Sleipnir was taken, Odin's steed, and led forward, and Hermodr mounted on that horse and galloped off. Hermodr. Fuck me. You guys. Hermodr. Help me, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I should be talking to you guys. This should be a thing where we talk to each other. I'm so sorry. But this name, Hermodr, just got me laughing. All right. Then Sleipnir was taken, Odin's steed, and led forward, and Hermodr mounted on the horse and galloped off. The Aesir took the body of Baldr and brought it to the sea. Hringhurni is the name of Baldr's ship. It was greatest of all ships. Oh, my friend is going to be joining me soon. Whenever he pops in, we'll pop him up. Hringhurni is the name of Baldr's ship. It was the greatest of all ships. The gods would have launched it and made Baldr's pyre thereon. but the ship stirred not forward. Oh, okay. So you know how like back in the day they would put people on a ship, they'd stuff them with all these sticks and stuff, and then light it and shove them off so they'd burn up and go back to the gods. Then word was sent to Jotunheim after that giantess who called Hyrcan, when she had come riding a wolf and having a viper for bridle. Then she leaped off the steed, and Odin called to for Berserker. Ooh, you guys, Berserker is like, I love that word. Berserker. Berserker is such a good berserker to tend a steed. But they were not able to hold it until they had felled it. Then Hyrcan went to the prow of the boat and thrust it out at the first push, so that the fire burst from the rollers, and all lands had trembled. Thor became angry and clutched his hammer, and would straightway have broken her head had not the gods prayed for peace for her. Then the body of Baldr borne out on shipboard. And when his wife Nanna, the daughter of Nep, saw that, straightway her heart burst with grief, and she died. Damn. You know what's interesting? Nanna. That's a, Inanna? I just wonder if there's some kind of connection. I don't know anything. Okay. Then Thor stood by and hallowed the pyre with Hlunir, and before his feet ran a certain dwarf, which was named Leatur. Thor kicked at him, and with his foot and thrust him into the fire, and he burned. People of many races visited this burning. First it is be told of Odin, how Frigg and the Valkyrs went with him, and his ravens. But Freyr drove in his chariot, and with the boar called Goldmane, or Fearful Tusk, and Heimdallr rode the horse called Goldtup, and Freyja drove her cats. Do you guys hate me? I'm so sorry. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. Thither came also much people of the Rhine giants and the hill giants. Odin laid on the pyre that gold ring which is called Draupnir. This quality attended it, that every ninth night there dropped it from 8 gold rings of equal weight. Baldr's horse was led to the balefire with all its trappings. Oh my goodness, you guys. So is he saying that there's a ring? Wait. Does somebody understand what this is saying? Odin laid on the pyre that gold ring which is called Draupnir. This quality attended that every ninth night there dropped from it 8 gold rings of equal weight. So there's a gold ring that gives birth of sorts to another 8 gold rings of equal weight every night. Am I reading that correctly? Okay. Well, anyway, you guys, I'm going to pause this for a moment. We may come back to it, we may not. I'm going to bring on my friend Jonathan. His channel is Tale Teller, and he tells all kinds of stories, from science fiction to fun, horror, you name it. So I'm gonna bring Jonathan on. There we go. I did it. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining.
Oh, hello.
Merry Xmas of sorts.
Of sorts, yes.
Of sorts.
Just slightly. There we go.
So quickly, Jonathan, just to introduce yourself to my friends, you are a former Jehovah's Witness.
Yes.
So one of the loves that you have is telling stories. So if you want, you can give a little introduction about yourself and maybe overview of the story, or just get right into it, whatever you think is best. It is your ho holiday.
Well, thank you so much. So yeah, I was I was a Jehovah's Witness for 40-ish years. Now I'm 52, so I've been out for a while. Or is fun. It is fun. So what I have done is written a story. This is one that I wrote last year that I'm re-editing, but I thought, why not? I'll just read it here on live, and hopefully you'll all enjoy it.
Yeah. Do you mind if
And
I put you up like big screen? Are you
oh,
okay
sure.
with that?
And actually, I have the text too, so I would like to.
Yeah, if you want to share something, go right ahead and share it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it does help for, some
See
people.
if I
It
can
just makes it
figure this
easier.
out. Share screen. It's Christmas. I don't see any. There we go.
I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. I guess I should do a friendly reminder that this is a one tiny little 2-hour portion in a 48-hour stream. Oh, give me 1 second. Let me add that up there. And after this stream ends at 3 p.m., which is in another like 40-ish minutes, it will forward you to Purple Rhymes with Orange, who may be here in the chat. And hello, Eric, and welcome. And I'm going to shut up so you can do what you need to do, Jonathan.
All right. I'm going to take one ear out so I can hear my voice. You know how it is. This was taken from an ancient Ugaritic text. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, I wrote this about a year ago, and I don't know what made me think to do it, but it's a bit of a cosmic-y horror kind of thing. So
Ooh, I like it.
Here we go. I'm going to try and get into my my voice. Welcome to Tellteller Media, where imagination finds its voice. The Perfect Christmas Tree by Jonathan Lee Wilson. Ever since they first started dating in their first year at Hickory Ridge High School, Jack and Megan were inseparable. They both came from some of the poorest families in Trimble County, Kentucky. They didn't have much as kids, but they did have each other. Growing up in a trailer park taught them both to be appreciative for what they had, but to aim higher in life. Jack was kind, thoughtful, a hard worker, and ruggedly handsome. Megan was funny, intelligent, and had a good work ethic and was beautiful. Despite their meager upbringing, they managed to pull themselves out of the poorhouse and into a middle-class lifestyle. This year was their 10th year anniversary, and Christmas was just around the corner. For the last few years, they'd purchased artificial trees for Christmas from the Dollar General. While it was something they were used to, it just felt like it was lacking. Ask either one, and they'd tell you about the pitiful trees they grew up with, trees that made Charlie Brown's stick and ornament look rich. This year, however, they promised themselves that they would find the tree. They weren't interested in some artificial out-of-the-box tree, no. They wanted the real thing. They wanted the kind of tree that said, "We finally arrived." So Jack and Megan searched all throughout the county. Bedford and Milton were a bust. No matter how many trees they looked at, nothing seemed good enough. Their home had high ceilings, so they wanted a decent-sized tree at least. They wanted a tree that looked like it was sculpted by the angels themselves. Jack wanted to find just the right tree for Megan. So he made it his mission to find a tree that he knew would fill the emptiness they had felt from missing out as children. Every day after work, Jack would drive to a lot and check out the various trees on display. It was on the fourth day that he saw what he was looking for. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be quite as easy as Jack wanted. When Jack got home, he burst through the door and called out to Megan. "I finally found it," he said excitedly. "Found what?" she said, startled at his sudden entrance. "Our tree, of course." He was practically giddy with excitement. "Where? How much? Can we go get it now?" she said in a flurry of questions. "Well, here's the thing. It's not exactly for sale. It's on private property, on an otherwise empty lot," he said sheepishly. "Are you kidding? We can't steal a tree," she said, surprised Jack would even consider stealing. "Yeah, I know. But the tree is on a lot where everything else is dead. It might even be county property, and screw the county," he said, trying to convince Megan to keep an open mind. Wringing her hand slightly, she looked at Jack and saw how much he wanted that tree. "Okay, but only if we can get it without getting busted," she said hesitantly. Jack's face lit up and he smiled. Megan's face followed and a smile showed on hers as well. "Where is it exactly?" she asked. "It's behind the cemetery, all tucked away at the end of the property. There's just a short fence to hop and we can grab it." "Since it's in the cemetery, no one will even be around to see us," said Jack. It seemed he had a plan. "Behind the cemetery? Oh, man, it gives me the creeps every time we drive past that place," Megan said. She suddenly felt the hair raise in the back of her neck. You're not seriously scared, are you? Oop, lost my place. You're not seriously scared, are you? Come on, don't be chicken, he said, Jack wiggling his fingers. He made a ghostly noise. Woo! Very funny, Jack. It just gives me the creeps, that's all, she said, pushing his shoulder. Well, if you can be brave, we'll grab it tomorrow after work, he said. Fine, I do want a perfect tree. If you say it's perfect, then it's perfect. She put her arms over his shoulders and gave him a kiss. He reciprocated, and soon he was fireman carrying her to the bedroom. It was 20 minutes after 5, and Jack was leaving work on his way to pick up Megan. She needed to see the tree so she could see what all the fuss was about. Jack was enjoying Christmas songs on the local radio station. Michael Bublé sang his rendition of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Okay, I'm not gonna do the rest.
No, that was really good, Jonathan. I was hoping you were going to continue.
That's okay. Jack interrupted the classic to make a call. Serious, phone Megan. I said serious because when I did it before and said Siri, my phone would go off. Anyway, Jack interrupted the call. Jack interrupted the classic to make a call. Serious, phone Megan. Phoning Megan, said the AI assistant. The phone rang twice, and Megan's voice sounded from the speakers. Are you almost home? She said. I'll be home in about 5 minutes, and then we can run through the cemetery and check out the tree. Sound good? He said. Yes, please, she replied. He smiled at her enthusiasm. I brought you a hot chocolate from the break room. It's not Starbucks, but it's free, he said. Oh, thanks, babe. See you shortly, she said, completing the call. The song on the radio had changed to Stevie Wonder's One Little Christmas Tree. It seemed appropriate under the circumstances. One little Christmas tree was standing alone, waiting for someone to come by. One little Christmas tree that never had grown, cried as he looked up to the sky. Jack shut off the radio as he pulled up to their house. Megan was already waiting on the porch. Jack put the passenger side window down and leaned toward the approaching Megan. Need a lift? He said playfully. I don't usually get into strange men's cars, but you look hot, so I'm making an exception, she said with a grin. Megan slid into the seat and planted a kiss on her partner. Minutes later, they were pulling into the Savior's Hope Cemetery. It was nearly as old as the town itself. It had been here for at least 120 years. The wrought iron fence had seen better days. The gate was open, but was not secured in place. The slightest breeze brought on a choir of creaks and moans from the ancient hinges. They drove on, navigating the tight lanes that weaved through the burial grounds. Old grave markers and tombstones provided excellent cover. Jack was right. No one would be able to see them once they came back to get the tree. Jack put their old blue Toyota into park. There it is, he said, pointing to a majestic-looking noble fir just over the 4-foot section of fence. It was magnificent. Megan caught sight of it and was awestruck. She looked like Dr. Ellie Sattler getting her first look at a brontosaurus in Jurassic Park. What did I tell you? It's perfect, he said with a huge grin. Megan could see now why Jack said this was the one. It was about 15 feet from the fence, so it would be pretty easy to get to their car. She wanted it right now, but they hadn't thought to bring any of the tools they would need. Besides, driving out of the cemetery with a tree on top of the car during the day would seem suspicious. Megan noticed that the area surrounding the tree was barren for about 40 feet all around. I see what you mean about it being otherwise dead on that lot, Jack. The tree must be pulling all the nutrients, I guess, said Jack. While they chatted, a white and brown bunny went through gaps in the fence and hopped around. Its head was mostly brown, with its right eye lined in a white circle. It appeared to be looking for something to munch on. Ooh, a white and brown bunny, so cute, she said. They looked at each other for only a moment, and then looked back toward the tree. The rabbit was nowhere to be found. Where did it go? She wondered. Jack could swear he saw some dust kick up in the general vicinity of where the rabbit had just been. No matter. It probably found a burrow to duck into. Okay, you convinced me. This is our tree. I can't wait to decorate it, Her face lit up at the thought. Jack pointed at the tree. We'll see you later tonight. After swinging back by the house, they picked up the necessary tools for the job. Afterward, they would grab some dinner and wait for the right time to return. Sufficiently dark, the time had come to claim their tree. This section of town was practically deserted after dark. Again, Jack rolled past the creaking gate of Savior's Hope. It was being exceptionally noisy, he felt. Geez, that racket is going to wake the residents here, he said. Megan made a face that expressed agreement. As they drove through the cemetery, a stone angel and a gravestone seemed to watch as they passed by slowly. It was just their minds playing tricks on them, wasn't it? Megan got that spine tingle again and focused on her guy. Jack was scanning ahead of them, with his eyes darting around. Evidently, the thought of getting caught was at least a little concerning. The car came to a stop and they exited. Megan grabbed the axe and shovel from the back and handed the former to Jack. He took out adjustable lights from his pocket and handed one to Megan. They were the kind you get off of Amazon, with a strap that you could place around your forehead to allow for hands-free lighting. They both slipped the lights into position and turned them on. Cones of light illuminated the area. Harsh shadows formed, playing tricks with their eyes. They made their way toward the back fence. Some of the oldest graves were located in this section. The gravestones were in bad shape. They could use a good cleaning at the very least. One of the markers featured a relief depicting the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Another featured a field of wheat being cut down with a scythe. A third showed angels pouring out bowls of destruction upon the earth. Did you get a look at those tombstones? Megan asked. Yeah, I can see why you were creeped out earlier, Jack said. They both made their way to the fence. Jack hopped over with ease. Megan, being much shorter than Jack, found it a little more challenging. She barely cleared the fence and managed to tear her jeans. My jeans, these are my favorite ones, she said, frustrated at the luck. You okay, Shorty? He said. You were not funny, she said in return. Sorry, he said, making a face of embarrassment. As they walked toward the tree, its beauty grew. She was so focused on it, she failed to see the object underfoot. Her right foot came down to meet the dirt, and she heard a sickening crunch. There below her boot was the desiccated remains of a rabbit. The fur on the husk of the body was brown with a distinct white circle on the right side of its face. How could this be? The corpse was dried and missing any hint of moisture. Had she not known the condition of that rabbit earlier today, she would never have believed it. She kicked it away from her, jumping around in a display of disgust. Are you okay? What was that? Jack was concerned as she seemed genuinely upset. No, I'm not. That rabbit we saw earlier today, I just stepped on its body. It was all dried up like it had been dead for a long time, she explained. That's gross. I'm sorry, babe. Let's just get the tree and get out of here, okay? He said. He could tell she was no longer in the mood for jokes, so kind and empathetic behavior was in order for the remainder of the night. Yes, let's just get it and go, she agreed. At the foot of the 10-foot tree, Jack reached out to touch the beautiful blue-green needles. They were sharper than they appeared. So sharp, in fact. He pulled his hand away and a tiny drop of blood formed. It was no more than you would expect had you pricked your finger to check your blood sugar levels as a diabetic person. Oh, are you okay? Did you just get cut by a Christmas tree? She said with concern. He waved his finger for a moment and then sucked on the tiny injury. What he didn't notice was the tiny droplet of blood falling away from his fingertip. It landed at the base of the tree on an exposed root. Suddenly, the roots shot from the ground and wrapped around Jack's left foot. It coiled around his calf twice and constricted with force enough so as to cause him a great deal of discomfort. What the hell? This tree just wrapped around my leg. Jack was stunned at what had just happened. Megan screamed at the sight of the tree's attack on her husband. Shit, it's burning my skin, he said in a panic. Get it off me, he screamed. Jack realized he had an axe in his hand, swung wildly at the ground. The angle of the root came up from the soil, preventing him from getting a good shot in. The pain in his leg grew by leaps and bounds. Issuing from the root were smaller tendrils that were whipped around violently. Some of them pierced his flesh and undulated beneath the skin. He dropped the axe and tried tearing the root away from his injured leg. Megan, holding the shovel, used it as a weapon and took swings at the tree. Bark and bits of wood exploded away from the trunk. The pressure to Jack's leg increased even further the moment she struck the trunk. "Get this thing off of me!" The pain was unbearable. It burned intensely. He could see the flesh of his leg beginning to change color and texture. The skin looked like it was drying up. Unbelievably strong panic took hold in his mind. He could actually feel his life being drained away through his leg. Megan could tell it would take much too long to extricate her trapped husband using a shovel. She dropped the shovel and picked up the axe Jack had abandoned to use both hands. She could see her angle of attack was much better than what Jack was able to muster. She placed the blade on the exposed root. It was no more than 6 inches from Jack's foot. She closed her eyes for a moment in an attempt to focus all her energy into what she needed to do. She swung the axe and it came down perfectly where she intended it to strike. It took 3 hits to do the job, but the root was severed. Jack, who had been pulling and ripping at the root, suddenly fell backwards, with the end of the root still coiled around his wounded leg. The severed root suddenly went limp and fell away from his leg. The tiny tendrils were pulled from the wound, and they fell away with the root. Jack, realizing he was suddenly free from the grasp of the evil thing, leaped up and prepared to run as fast as his legs would take him. Searing pain still lingered in his injured flesh. The tree sent another root to deal with the sharp object that had maimed it. The new root wrapped itself around the axe. Suddenly, the axe was yanked violently from Megan's grasp and flung 15 feet behind it. "Come on, let's get out of here," Jack screamed. They both ran as fast as they could go. Jack tumbled over the fence and rolled to the ground on the other side. Megan, who was filled with adrenaline at this point, cleared the fence easily. She saw Jack was down and dropped down to help him. They got to the Toyota, and Megan helped her injured husband into the passenger seat. She quickly got around to the driver's side and drove as fast as she could while in the narrow lanes of the cemetery. As soon as they cleared the gate, she punched it and headed for the ER. Back at the fence, roots curled and weaved across the ground. One root ran across a 1-foot square sign that read, had fallen from the fence. It read, "Keep out." 3 weeks later, Jack was healing well from his injuries. His skin was still discolored a bit, but the pain wasn't there any longer. They sat in their living room, cuddled up on the couch. The lights in their tree were pretty. Their tree was the absolute best that the Dollar General sold that year. The end.
Yowzies. I think they got more than they bargained for trying to get this tree.
Yeah, they definitely did. Yes.
For some reason, I don't know why, Jonathan. I promise it's not because I got them riled up or anything like that. But people were feeling as though that Christmas tree may have been a euphemism for something else. I don't know. They were getting a lot of sexual energy from this story, but I don't think I don't know that that's your fault or that's just me.
It only went for his leg. And in no time did I use the word tentacles.
Testicles? Did you say testicles?
Yeah, there's that Japanese anime stuff with the tentacles.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes,
None of that. So
that's a whole nother. Isn't that hentai? Hentai?
Yeah, that would be something like that. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I've never seen it a day in my life.
That sort of thing, thankfully.
I don't even know how it's spelled.
So, Bedford, Milton, and Trimble County, Kentucky are actual places.
Okay. I'm gonna pull that down.
So yeah, that's where my dad's side of the family was living when I was a teenager and a kid. Was in Trimble County, so it's a little bitty county, and I have this idea. I have this story and a second one that I did called Shrooms that are set in the same area, and I
like the shrooms.
Yeah, it's meant to be sort of like how Stephen King has everything happening in Castle Rock in Maine. Kind of has a shared universe with this story. So I have the idea that I'm going to have a bunch of stories set in this like because it's like Appalachia, folk talk, folk
Oh,
stories and stuff like
yes.
that. So kind of a
There's a lot of
couple
creepy
answers.
stories from Appalachia. If you
Oh yeah,
get onto like Appalachia TikTok, I don't know if you've ever been there before, but if you
I have
watch
not.
one video about Appalachia, the the algorithm just says, "Oh, this is what you want now." But
That's
of
all you
course,
get
how
forever.
much I believe it, how much I put into it, because I think people's minds does a lot of the work for them,
Mhm.
but they're compelling. I think they're fun, and I
Yeah.
enjoy what um Bree does. Bree does a cryptid thing where she talks about all
Oh yeah.
kinds of legendary or folklorish kind of stuff. I I don't want to, I feel like I'm rude when I'm like, you're just fucking lying. I feel like they believe they have seen or felt or experienced something, but our brains are powerful.
It's true.
They can trick us, auditory sensations. It's pretty cool how amazing like our body can trick us into believing things are there that aren't.
That's true. I've been listening to a lot of like creepy pasta stuff lately.
Creepy
Yeah, that's
pasta.
that's fun. And
That is.
um, my channel is kind of evolving. I'm trying to figure out, what my groove is because I know you have to kind of niche down, but I have a lot of different likes. So um, basically, it's more. I would say most of it is going to be horror-y stuff, but there's also like science fiction, and I usually like to throw in a little bit of humor with stuff as well. So and I have my website on there. It's telltalemedia.ca. And so if you go there, you can see the different like links and that. But it'll lead back to the YouTube channel and everything. The
Yeah.
idea is kind of a collaborative channel as well, or website, so that it's not just my stories and my narration. It's also other authors that I know. And sometimes I'll narrate the stories, or they'll narrate them, or it might be somebody that has a good narration voice, and they could read something. So that's
Yeah,
the
I've
general
heard
idea.
I've heard several the stories that you've told that were written by other people. And I like that.
Yeah, I mean, people
Which
got
is
good
why
stuff.
I invited you, which is why I thought like, that would be fun if I could invite somebody, and you were the first person I asked, so I'm glad that you
Oh,
obliged.
thanks.
But because storytelling is something I wish I was better at. I'm really not good at storytelling because I get really excited and then all the details like come flooding my mind and the colors and the sense and I get
Mhm.
so overwhelmed. I'm not the best at telling stories, but I know the love for preserving memories and expressing yourself and ideas that seem, I don't know, just far-fetched, but you can still make them come to life. And I just like that. I like being able to play with my imagination.
Mhm.
And that's why I found your channel so intriguing. So anybody who enjoys that kind of letting your imagination run wild, you'll enjoy Telltale Media. And if you have a story that you want
Yeah,
told,
you can submit it. If you got a good story, um, it has to kind of fit the vibe. It can't be like, and this is a love story
no,
that
no, yeah, of course, right.
because it's like
You
there are places
reserve the
for that.
right to
Yeah,
say no to, like, not all stories are going to be stories that are going to fit.
yeah.
Understood.
But I've been if it fits the vibe of the channel, then yeah, I'll definitely consider it. And um, I've
That's
got
me, Dr.
somebody
Pip.
that
That's me.
oh, I said that my story sucked because it's too long and rambling. You know what?
I know. Eh,
There's stories for everybody. Some people
right.
really like too long and rambly.
To be fair, I don't even care about the long and rambly. What I care about is I like watching people's expression,
Mhm.
the emotion on their face, and if they're into it. It could probably be something like about Legos. And if the person is like giving their all and you can just tell that they're loving that this is like what they're living for, that kind of energy, then I can be into it as well. It doesn't have to be a perfect story. I just want you to pull me in with your enthusiasm.
Right.
And you do that.
thank you.
Really, no, seriously. Your voice, like even when you were doing like the little singing,
Mhm.
it was perfection. I feel like I'm at home just listening to somebody tell me a
Oh.
story. Yeah, a little auditory tickle. Orgasm. Oh, no, that's perverted. Sorry.
I don't go there.
Wendy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Auditory
You're
tickle.
gonna get me in trouble with this talker.
Wendy, don't watch the stream.
Anyway, watch she'll pop into the comments any second.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, what was I going to say now? Yeah, and doing a live is a bit different than sitting down and doing a recording because I'll do different takes, until I feel it's right. Because sometimes
such a pain.
it's easy to put the wrong inflection into a sentence, and you're just like, nah, need to change that. So,
yeah, it can change the whole vibe.
Yeah, it takes me probably 4 times as long to edit out all the ums and ahs and coughs and
I do a lot of the
retakes and stuff than it does to actually record the thing in the first place.
Dr. Kip, he is a Dead Sea Scroll scholar, I think. Mm-hmm. He has a book and he's recording or is done recording whatever the audio portion of his book, and he was just saying how like you don't realize how many times you make noises with your mouth, and it's just so annoying when you have to cut that out. And so many times, like I'm recording a video and I don't even know that I'm doing it, but I'm like why should you shut the fuck up, bitch, you dumb bitch. Why are you making noise?
If you watch somebody's video and you see a lot of like sharp movements, it's like that's probably them cutting out all those ums and ahs.
It's basically what it is. We're just trying to get out like the stuff that's going to annoy you if you hear it 30 times. Biddy, hello. Mary Chrysler. Hello. We were talking. Do I have a ghost in my house? Good. Hello. If there's a ghost, can we fuck? I'm down. I'm down to clown. Just let me know. I'm sorry, Jonathan. Biddy Buddha, let me know if you want to go live sometime. Who was here? Shane was here. And we were talking about you, just so you know. But anyway, so Jonathan, you have your own a regular. You have a channel also where you discuss being a former Jehovah's Witness and all the like XJW, unwinding your mind from that cult indoctrination kind of stuff. But this has been your little outlet where now you can finally let your the juices flow, your created juices.
Creativity.
Yeah, the creativity. I do so many little arts and crafts, or I just make little stupid video edits that are absolutely ridiculous that nobody cares about, but it makes me feel good. It makes me feel as though like, oh, I just ticked a box. I got something done. I got something accomplished.
It's creative to make clothing too.
Yeah,
especially your own designs.
Right, but that's what I like about deconstructing in this little group or community, if you will, that we have, where we're all kind of finding ourselves, figuring out what we like, sharing our experiences. And I've never had I've never been in a community of people where it's so diverse. Like that's just so completely new to me. So I would never have thought that I would be able to speak to somebody who is a storyteller, but also somebody who is an archaeologist, somebody who is a Dead Sea Scrolls scholar. I mean, this is mind-blowing stuff that inside of a JW community, I would have never been able to experience.
Because they're also samey in the JW sphere.
It's also whitewashed. It's also milk toast, like mayonnaise butter kind of life. Vanilla.
About the only thing you find different, I guess, would be some people play musical instruments. So you might have
And even
Like,
then, they have to be careful.
I was in a band with JWs as well back in back in the 20, you know, back in the 2000s. I did
Were
some
you?
singing. We did some performing. Yeah.
I don't know if I knew that. I know that you sing and play mute instruments and stuff, but I don't know if
Yeah,
I knew that.
I haven't done it such a long time. I can play keyboards a little bit, but mostly it's just singing. So I was a lead singer in this band. So we
Getting
got
frisky
together and
with it.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
But,
And that's what we should be doing, because we were like, for so long, like you were, would you say 40 something years as a JW, something like that? We were stuck inside of a very small box, and now we're able to meet people from other walks of life and who have experienced all kinds of uh, situations, whatever events. So I'm so thankful that I can take my platform and you take you and show you, oops, to a whole new group of people, and vice versa. We're doing this Christmas train of sorts, and it's basically just about people. Hold on, let me rewind that. It's not about any specific group of people, but I think that a majority of us just so happen to be those who have left a high control religion behind, or have at least experienced what it's like to be in a group, in a religion that tries to tell you who you can be, what you can do, who you can be friends with. And now we're able to share experiences. And don't be mad at me for
yay!
don't be mad at me for anything that I said on the stream. Oh, Wendy, because I'm a really, really good person. But that's basically it. That's pretty much it. Is we had to be so conformed to a certain kind of personality person that we weren't able to express ourselves, let alone share our talents with other people. And I'm so happy. Basically, long story to the short is I'm so happy to see you being able to express yourself and tell these stories and just have fun with it, and not have the guilt or any kind of shame experience that comes with it that we would normally have as a Jehovah's Witness or living in a high control religion. I
Yeah,
like
because
seeing you and your wife live your best life.
I can just imagine like the counseling that you get. Like you, that's nice that you use these talents, but are you putting as much time and effort into worship of Jehovah as you could?
Right.
Like,
Because
are you
that's
taking
what
away from
matters.
field service and are you studying and preparing for the meetings? I know that you
Mhm.
like to write stories and all, but you know,
I know you enjoy these dumb little stories, these stupid, piddly, dumbass stories is really what they want to say to you. I know you think you're fucking special, but don't you want to go knock on doors
no,
outside?
no, I do not.
Oh my gosh, that's what it feels like they want to say. They downplay everything about you, everything that you hold dear about yourself, everything that makes you an individual. They try to erase it to make you some kind of bland mixture of I love God. Like the only thing that you ever focus on in your entire, the only thing you live to do is to talk about God. And it is okay. You don't have to feel bad about wanting to express yourself or feel special, be recognized. That is okay. It's okay to be proud of yourself. And
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
Actually, and in this train, there's going to be another JW, ex-JW, apostate Linda Babe James. I apologize. I'm not sure exactly where she ends up in this train.
Mhm.
And I thought I had the link to the train. Does anybody have it offhand? Because I'm sorry, I thought I was going to put that in there. But I just want to encourage everybody in the stream, everyone who's watching, to just do you, to be, I want to be a little more Nicki Minaj and tell you, like Erica Kirk, and tell you to just do you, be the best you that you can be, and don't care about anybody, don't care about the haters. That's like the most fakest shit I've ever heard. But yeah, that's why I'm glad that you came here. I wanted to invite you here to share stories, because
I appreciate it.
yeah, I mean, that's what I figured people.
Can I do a little more plug-in?
Yeah, no, yeah, please do.
Okay, so I'm trying to
ahead.
write or produce 100-word stories of the shorts that take like 45 seconds to a minute. And I post those every Wednesday and Saturday. And I'm trying to do one longer form on Saturday if I can. So obviously I'm not a machine, because I have work and family and stuff. Yeah. So I have to leave time for other stuff. But so sometimes it will just be me finding a nice story on the public domain, and I'll read that, and keep it simple. Also, I have this series that I'm working on. I've taken a little break from it because of the revamp of the channel, and of just getting prepared for Christmas and all that stuff. But it's in the works. But I have this series called Reyes. The
Reyes Files.
Yeah. So it's sort of a supernatural detective procedural thing that I got this whole story plotted out in my head. And I have 2 episodes posted so far. I'm working on the 3rd one. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll get that done. That one is done as an animation. So that is way more work, because I have to like generate the pictures. Then I have to like edit the pictures, like Photoshop them to get them the way they want. And then I have to animate them. And then I have to get the animation to work the way that I want and edit it all together. So it's not like it's using AI, but I mean, it's not like, give me this video and then it spits it out. It's not like that. It's a whole thing. It's a lot.
It's not that easy.
No.
I know it's sometimes it's so difficult to work with AI.
Yeah.
I understand your plight.
But the story that I read on the stream today, like I said, I had it a year ago, so I'm re-editing it. So it has, before it was just me on camera reading it, and I wanted to do it a little more story form. So I'm adding some sound effects, and I'm like making illustrations for it. It just takes a little time to do, but hopefully I'll have that posted maybe today or tomorrow. We'll see. So
basically what Jonathan is saying, he is spending a lot of time, creative energy. He's putting a lot of heart and soul into this. So please give him a follow. I put it right here.
Thank you.
Telltale Media. I appreciate you coming here and sharing a story with us today. Again, this is the whole spiel is that this is a 48-hour marathon where a community can come together, and regardless of what you do or do not celebrate, you are amongst friends. And on my little stop of the train, it was just telling stories from all across the world. Well, I say all across, it was mostly like Ugaritic, but anyway, across the globe, that brought people together. And we can imagine that maybe today we're telling some of the very same stories. So up next is our beautiful friend, Purple Rhymes with Orange. And I'm not sure what they have planned, but I'm sure it will be lovely. This stream should port you over afterwards. I'm not the technical guru.
No idea.
Yeah, I know. I wish I knew. I wish I understood these things, but I don't. All I know is that you push a button and then things happen. But I'm so thankful that beautiful people like y'all in the audience are here to share this holiday with me, as well as my lovely friend Jonathan. We met here on the internet because we share we basically both just deconstructed from High Control Group, and we found each other, and we have been friends for what, like almost 5 years now, 4 years. Something like
Watchtower.
that. Yeah, I mean, seriously, we found a common denominator, and over that we have bonded, and his beautiful wife here is in the stream as well. So, whatever it is that you come together for, let it be wine, let it be joy, let it be sharing things, let it be community. Community. And if you're drunk at the community, that's okay too. Again, Thank you guys. I'm going to end this stream because Purple is going to be starting. Honestly, I love this community so much. I can't. I'm actually kind of sad to say goodbye. I'm sad to say goodbye.
Okay, I'll say it then. Bye.
I love you guys. Bye. We'll see you at Purple Rhymes with Lauren. Bye, 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 bye.
Yeah.
And thank you for this.